Okay, first grade, so today for writing, I'm gonna have you correct some sentences that I already have written. You're gonna check to make sure that you have all the pieces that we need from our rubric. Now, you don't have your rubric at home, but you can imagine in your mind what things were on the rubric that we had in our classroom. I made my own little checklist here. We know we check for capital letters. Capital letters come at the beginning of the sentence unless it is the special name and a proper noun. Then we check for our punctuation, and punctuation comes at the end of the sentence. It could be a period, exclamation point, or a question mark. Then we check for our finger space between, and then we always read it again to make sure it makes sense. So I have an example here. On the next slide, you will also see more sentences that are written, but they have not been checked with a rubric. So the first thing I want to check for are capital letters. Capital letters come at the beginning. Now I see an I by itself. Anywhere you have an I by itself, it always is a capital letter. And this one is even at the beginning, so we know for sure it needs to be capital. So you will use your drawing tools to draw right on top of it and change it into a capital letter. So read it with me. I love to learn. I've checked my capital letters. Now my punctuation comes at the end. So let's check it. I love to learn. Is there punctuation at the end? Nope. I don't feel like I'm asking a question. I don't see a starter like who, what, when, where, why, how. I'm not asking something, I'm telling. This is a statement. So I'm going to need a period at the end of my sentence. Could I change it to an exclamation point? I love to learn. Definitely, that could be an exclamation point. So I'm going to check it off. I have my punctuation. Now I'm checking for finger spaces, and they come in between the words. It looks like I might need a little more space here between. I love to learn. There are spaces in between every word, so I'm good with my spaces. And then I always read it again to make sure I'm not missing any sentences or any words. I love to learn. Sounds good to me. I've checked it off. So on your next slide, you're going to use your drawing tools to correct your sentences to make sure they have capitals, spaces, and punctuation in the right places. Now, these are just individual sentences. They are not an entire paragraph, which is much trickier to find your mistakes. So please check carefully on these sentences. It should be pretty easy. After that, you will get some slides that have you choosing the sentence that is correct. Don't get tricked. I tried to put in a couple that looked like they were right, but if you use the rubric, you will find mistakes. Do your best.